Hello, everybody. Welcome to On the Anvil, the show where we talk about what's going on behind the scenes at Dwarven Forge, and we have no technical difficulties, except that my cameras seem to be chugging today, so that's unfortunate. I
That's
need to just
okay.
I need to just replace these.
They want to
He's
watch
doing fine.
me anyway.
He wants to watch him robot. We had a last minute substitution today. Nate actually wasn't able to make it tonight, unfortunately. So Tyler's actually going to step in. We wanted tonight to be just a huge showcase of Star Force, the sci-fi Kickstarter we have coming up. And Tyler has been doing a lot of work on the structure of it behind the scenes. So figured that's as good a stand-in as any to just talk about the structure of the project and everything. We're going to show some new pieces. We're going to talk about what you can expect the sets to look like in the Kickstarter.
Yep.
We're going to answer a bunch of questions. We're winging it a little bit just because of the scheduling change and all that. Not scheduling change, but
Just
staffing
the
change and all
personnel change and the fact that like we were filming all day today, so we
Yes.
hadn't had a lot of time to really discuss what tonight was going to be in this dog and pony show. But we have two dogs, but we don't have any ponies, so it's the dog and dog
There's no
show.
ponies. Ponies are a stretch goal.
Yeah, ponies
Yeah.
are a stretch goal.
We have two stupid dogs
Yeah. Well, stupid seems harsh.
and a little pony. I'm trying to go with
Oh, yeah.
popular
Alright.
children's media properties.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
it's two stupid dogs, that incredibly popular cartoon series.
that really good one.
That really popular
That
cartoon
didn't
that
just
everybody
say
remembers.
the same thing in its intro over and over and over and over
The
again.
end, the end of the intro song for the Two Stupid Dogs cartoon was the music just stops and it goes, "Two stupid dogs, two stupid dogs."
It does feel like
It's very
somebody
dumb.
making a joke, like somebody who has too much power in an animation studio being like, "What if we make a show called Two Stupid Dogs?" And
It sounds-
just takes.
Well, it sounds like when they were recording the song too, they were like, "Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give us a couple takes," and then they let them all in. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to. It's going to be guided a bit by your questions as well. We want to know what it is that you guys want to know about the campaign. First
Yes.
off, like what information is going to be the most useful to get out to you.
Yeah.
So we are going to. We're gonna talk about that. Yeah, Tyler's pushing the brand. He's wearing his Dwarven Fort shirt.
Yep.
I'm pushing one of my favorite musicians, indie punk artist Jeffrey Lewis.
Yeah.
New
This
York,
is also
in
for Hippo.
New
by
York
the way.
City
This is-
staple.
this
It's
is
for
you.
Hippo.
Yeah.
Nice. I think he's probably in chat. Yeah, there he is. He's a sharp object. Oh, you're literally reading the chat. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and get into the news real quick, and then we will get into what everybody wants to see, the
Yes.
sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. It's the news. It's the news.
Oh, is it not? Is it not a recorded bit? Do you
It's
have
not
to
a
do that
recorded
every
bit.
time?
Were you unaware that Nate is doing that live every time?
I watch every week, of course.
Okay. I just
No,
work.
I was unaware.
I
I was unaware that
I
was
just
a
work really
live
hard.
bit.
I was just hoping this is the 132nd episode. I would have hoped that you'd seen a couple of them.
I knew about it. I knew it
That's fair.
exists. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Masticon, that is definitely a question we are going to cover. All right, so let's get into the news real quick. First off, like the biggest thing is the two restocks that we have coming up next have gotten one. We actually have like a date for the next restock. The container arrived. We're checking stuff out at the warehouse to make sure it's all good, and that is going to be going up next Tuesday at noon, January 30th. You can find the list for that restock up on the site. It's a smaller one. It's some stuff that I think we kind of squeezed out in a different production run, but had to take a separate
Yeah,
container.
it was a weird. It was the weird end
was a
of
quick-
a different one.
Yeah, it was a quick little order
Yeah.
that we squeezed in. However, there's a much larger restock coming in March. It was a massive Wildlands Reforged was supposed to take them up until Lunar New Year to produce, and instead they got done with plenty of time. They told us, they told us a couple months back, they were like, "Hey, we think we're going to finish this ahead of schedule, and we're going to have room to do like another order before we start Lowtown production." And so we just use it as an opportunity to just take a bunch of your requests and ran a ton of very heavily requested sets through some things that have never been restocked, all that jazz. It's a very big list. You can also see that on the front page of the web store, dwarvenforge.com. Checking all that. Yeah, Hamster's here. I played my first, I guess other news, I played my first Age of Sigmar game today. It was a 1,000 point game. And I I didn't understand half the rules, but I knew the gimmick of a number of my pieces, and I just leaned really hard. I play Skaven, so I just leaned really hard into just overcharging all of my weapons and just hoping that luck went my way. And instead of blowing myself up, I did a lot of damage very quickly.
My favorite part of Hamster playing is that I have never heard of a situation where he's won yet, and he's supposed to be the Warhammer guy. Everybody else chose. I think it's because what I also heard was that Hamster was like, yeah, I'll play these other things, I'll play whatever else, and everybody who's chosen something just because they like the look of it have ended up choosing, like you and Miles and Nate have chosen ones where it's like, oh yeah, the meta like really leans hard for these guys.
Oh, I don't know anything about the meta.
But like that was what I thought. That's what was being said about Miles as dwarves or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, these guys
he's playing a different game than everybody. Like, he gets to, like Miles plays Karajan Overlords. He gets to teleport across the map. Anyways, digression.
Finley's right.
Hamster.
Right.
If it any, I did not sing Grease Lightning.
Yeah. No, yes.
I didn't at any point.
Okay.
I did sing Tell Me More.
Oh. Oh, sorry.
I did. I literally did. I was singing Grease during the. Getting into it. Let's move on. I guess the other big thing is Wildlands Reforged. And we said this last week, but just to reiterate, all of Wildlands Reforged, if you're waiting on that project, has been produced and is currently ahead of schedule. It's all on the water over here. We're not going to say, I got hair in my mouth. I'm not going to say that we are delivering early because a lot can happen still when it gets to port. We have had stuff held up before. So we're not going to say that we're delivering early, but that possibility exists.
It's just such a nice likelihood, right? Like it's just a thing of like
it's very unlikely that we'll be late.
Yes,
I guess is the nice.
It's one of the first times. So.
Yeah, we're moving in the direction of actually delivering things on time, which is exciting.
I think that also it's coupling with a thing with our factory where they are looking to do more of these. Shorter, like more condensed restocks like this, where they're not doing, 5 different lines at the same time. They're doing a really focused. Hey, we're doing because we were doing Wildlands. They basically a lot of those molds were in the same families, so they're not taking something from Wildlands, then have to shift the mold and put on dungeons and then do everything was kind of in the same boat. I guess is what I was trying to say. Is that like
it was also our first try trying to do something on that scale that didn't involve new molds, and so we weren't sure exactly how much faster the process would be.
Yeah.
Turns out a lot. Tooling is the longest part of the process.
It's always the worst part of any of our new product is the amount of time it takes.
Yeah. And just in general, we've been talking with the factory a lot to figure out how we can work more efficiently together, and it's really paying off.
This is certainly one of those evolutions of those conversations.
Yeah. So that's all very exciting. I'm not sure if there's anything else major to cover. We went over a lot of news last week,
right?
Oh yeah. We're going to be doing Adepticon. If you did not hear, Adepticon, we were already having a hard time getting the hotel for it. So if you're interested in doing Adepticon in late March, we're going to be doing it after the launch of Starforged. Like it's literally the week after the launch, because we're launching Starforged March 12th, I guess is the other news that like leans into it. And then Adepticon is March 20th through 24th. So we're going to be there. If you want a chance to play on that stuff while the campaign is still going, hey, come down to Adepticon. It's just outside Chicago. It's a very fun convention if you like skirmish games, if you want to play a lot of stuff. The big thing with Adepticon is they're just running a ton of tournaments like the whole weekend.
And we get to see our friend Tim Tulin.
Yeah, Tim Tulin's there, which Tim Tulin has like worked on a ton of the 2D art.
Yeah.
Stuff that we've done. So a lot of terrain tray designs and stuff like
basically all of Lowtown was done by Tim.
Yeah. And he's very involved in Adepticon. He's gonna
be joining us for Starforged as well. Like he'll be doing a few designs there.
So I guess that confirms the first being is we're gonna be doing Starforged terrain trays, I guess.
I was feeling like that would be a neat way to try to do it.
I can't remember if we mentioned that or not. But yeah, I think that's roughly it. So yeah, if you want to do Adepticon, it's a lot of fun. It's a smaller convention, and it is definitely more about playing games, and it's a lot more skirmish game based than RPG for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a very fun convention. It's a very different vibe than Gen Con and a lot of the other ones we go to. So hey, if you're nearby, check it out. See about coming up for a day or so. We're gonna try to make a lot of fun out of it. And Hamster will be there as well. He's in chat. And he will be there. All right.
Oh,
what's up?
My one question for Hamster is: are you gonna do? I feel like that first time you went to Adepticon, you were talking about, isn't there?
Oh, Golden Demon.
Yes, the Golden. Are you gonna do a Golden Demon again?
Ooh, should I do it?
That'd be cool.
I'm nowhere near good enough. It might be fun to enter a Golden Demon just to enter.
That's what I mean. Is that like it would be fun, like if you just to do a contest or whatever, it'd be cool.
Because Hamster, what Hamster did, and it was a very cool, meaningful thing that he did was he did a repaint of the first model he ever painted. And so he submitted that, and he said he entered it. He did it just because he just wanted to enter. Just wanted to enter Golden Demon.
Yeah.
I would love for him to take a real swing at it, though.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, PAX Unplugged. We're also planning to do PAX Unplugged as well. And also UK Games Expo.
There's a couple of things that
and
are
Spiel.
Yeah.
Essen.
Yeah.
And Gen Con.
Yeah.
5 conventions this year is what we're planning on.
And some of that is
some of it's a little up in the air.
Yeah, to be fair, it is in the works. It's like being discussed about like what kind of presence, what kind of active, just what kind of presence is actually going to be at each one. But for certain, Adepticon and PAX Unplugged are going to be a stronger presence. Obviously, Gen Con is going to be our usual Gen Con presence. The other two are the ones where we're trying to figure it out. Mace's
Capture is too low in the seat. Oh, it looks like it is. Because you know what it is? If you haven't noticed, Letitia made some brand new Starforged overlays as we go into the campaign. And it's slightly changed. It's slightly... Well, not the background.
Oh,
the overlay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Still actually designed the backdrop.
Yeah.
Still designed the backdrop. But like, the overlays... This is the first stream where we have like the Starforged overlays.
Yeah.
So Letitia designed those last week. But yeah, it changed the dimensions slightly. So I went through.
I'm only just now noticing too.
I went through and I thought I caught all the dimension changes, but it looks like I missed that one.
It looks great.
I think we're all good now, and we should be good for the three.
There's
three
just
cam.
some cool stuff that.
It is a very fun backdrop. Still like really leaned into an aesthetic that like we haven't done before, and so it was really cool to. It feels like a very different vibe than the other ones we've had, and it feels. I don't know. It's very fun. I like having a big variety.
It felt. At first, I was against it in terms of like, oh, I don't think we need a new backdrop, and then you guys were all working on this design, and then as it came out, I was like, oh yeah, this is way too cool to not have. Like it really just ended up being this thing where I was like, I love being wrong sometimes.
Yeah. Which is good because which is great because he's wrong a lot. So it makes it a lot easier.
But I hate it.
You only need to do PAX Prime. PAX Prime is hard for us mostly because it's a very small. Tyler and I actually went to PAX West or PAX Prime last year because we were doing the terrain for Acquisitions Incorporated. So we actually went, but we didn't have like a booth presence. We were scoping it out to see like does this make sense for us to go to that con, and it was rough. It's just it's probably the least tabletop focused PAX.
They had a whole
and it's so far from us,
which was because of the new convention center.
Hey hamster.
But it's not really great for us at the moment. Maybe in a year or two, if that starts to grow, it'll be worth double checking. Are we going to PAX East? Is that TBD right now?
We can't do East because it's the same weekend as the Adepticon.
Group, but are we? We'll talk about.
Oh, for Ac Inc.
Yeah.
To be determined.
That's what I was like. Right. Yeah. Like I can't remember if there's one. Anyway.
I should reach out about that. Yeah. Because we'll have to figure that out because we're doing Adepticon. It's the same weekend, so we'll have to.
Right.
If it is.
I forgot about that. It's the same week.
Yeah. I think that's it. Why don't we go ahead and get into Starforged?
I think Paul wants me to speak in a very high voice.
Pink Skyline's due to helium gas in the atmosphere? Is helium is like bad to light a match in, right? Isn't it? Or is it just hydrogen?
Oh, well, hydrogen definitely. I don't know if helium specific.
Is helium combustible? Hamster.
Huh? Yeah.
You've got a science degree.
Yeah. Yeah, get in here. Get in here and tell me about helium real quick.
But talking to Tyler's chest because you don't have a mic.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so the science of helium is actually pretty good for you. It helps your digestion.
You want to eat?
I'm gonna mute that mic for now. That's rough. Yeah.
helium voice.
Yeah.
Check levels on helium.
Yeah.
Helium is completely non-reactive. Oh, it's not composite. Oh, it's the opposite of what I thought. Helium is the safest thing.
I
So
love how many. Well, that's.
So if you need to put out a fire,
I mean, I suppose.
find a clown.
Is helium gas what they use in a hot air balloon?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
hope so. They're just like.
It's a noble gas. That's kind. So it's the opposite of it. Helium is. So if you need to put a fire out, find a clown. Wait.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
I think I was just thinking of hydrogen.
Bye.
You're thinking of hydrogen. They use hot air. Yeah, it's not a.
I don't know. Hey,
Helium-
I said I can be wrong.
It's mostly hydrogen. We need to move on to. Okay, so Starforged.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So
I don't know.
oxygen is also very flammable. Probably. I'm not gonna look. I was very good at science, but it's been a very long time.
I try to have no preconceptions.
I try not to put any. I try not to.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any assumptions about gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I have a lot of it.
Okay. So Starforged. In a lot of ways, this is our first time kind of moving into sci-fi, and so it's not our first time doing sci-fi. It's our first time doing a sci-fi crowdfunding campaign since we got into the crowdfunding era. Since we kind of came into this modern era of Dwarven Forge, and so
It's our first sci-fi Dwarvenite.
First sci-fi Dwarvenite, and so with a lot of it, there's a lot about it that really does resemble, kind of our first couple crowdfunding projects, mostly in the compositions, and that's something that Tyler's been working on a lot, is figuring out the compositions, how to make it super accessible, and how to make a couple pieces go a very long way. So I think, why don't we go ahead and talk about the set structure, how we're kind of laying things out. I don't know if we're comfortable talking price point yet, or like general price
Half and half.
ballparks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're still working on
Depending
pricing
on the
to some degree.
question,
Yeah.
I should be able to answer.
Yeah. Tyler's a skew ninja. Yeah, he spends a lot of his time working on just basically like the ratio of pieces and sets, and like how do we make sure that everything is accessible enough without being overabundant, and what do we need, and trying to balance prices with usability and all that jazz.
I mean, that's a huge part of compositions in general, right? It's what we were trying to accomplish with Lowtown. I think we were like 90% there in Lowtown. There was a couple of weird places where it was like,
when you're making 200 pieces,
it just got to a point where like there was an accessory pack or there was a wall pack where it was like, this isn't really clicking because it's so similar to this other one that maybe we could have made this other choice. So a lot of that reflection ends up coming into the mix here. So what would you like me to start at first? What would you?
Why don't we go ahead and start talking about like basically the approach we're taking with core sets, I think.
Yeah.
Or component sets, but core sets are starting with core sets and component sets. Yeah.
So the main design there again is very similar to sort of the Lowtown approach mixed with the Wildlands Reforged approach, which is more and more and more, especially as we get into smaller projects, it's pushing them into things that are easily packaged, easily bundled. For instance, any of the buildings that we made in Lowtown, even just in the landmark phase, it was about how many floors that you have to have per wall pack, and then from that, how many to actually build something of value, something of play value. And so that's kind of the same thing that we're doing here in Starforged. One of the trickier parts with Starforged, though, is that it also, because of the 360 building, how do you make sure that this is good for both an interior and exterior, kind of for both? Like, how do you make sure it's good for both when you're making one set? And so that was one of the initial challenges we were hitting when we were doing components and like doing these compositions. It's like, do we want to make sure that one set does everything, or do we want to have two sets that have a focus that can still do the other thing, maybe just not as well as the other one?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of more what we drifted with, right? And I say that terminology, it's my terminology. I don't mean to say that, it's a poor composition. Just more so that, like, if you buy the Starforged core set, you're getting enough walls and floors to build like a room. Mm-hmm. And it is just kind of like a room or a hallway or a way to like help build out something else. You flip that upside down, all the same rules still apply. It's a great elevated part of a build, or it's a great, blockade hallway or something like that. It's just that, like, the bunker builder is a more exterior focused one where it's going to have a couple of accessories that actually drift more towards an exterior, whereas the core set has accessories that drift more towards an interior.
Yeah.
It's just it's where the focus lies. That was the big thing in components that we were doing in Starforged this time.
Yeah. And so I think maybe one of the things that would be useful is maybe let's show, I believe the core set itself actually has all pieces that we've shown people before.
Sure.
So why don't we go ahead and build that real quick and show, like, this is like what we're looking at is like just the smallest like core set basically.
No problem. It'll take just a moment.
Yeah.
In that time, I can also talk about pricing. So what we're facing with sort of the nature of 360, nature of biscuiting because of 360, you are obviously going to be slightly more expensive than some of our other core sets.
Because there's no dead side.
There's no dead side, yeah. But it's not that much, honestly, at the end of the day. And what was funny was I was even trying to figure out mold costs and stuff like that. It was an interesting discovery that it was like, oh, it's actually not too much more of a mold cost. It was nice to see that happen, so that we don't have to raise anything because of that.
And so then when you kind of look at the set as like, this set is kind of pulling double duty of being interior and exterior, that's kind of what we're hoping will add extra value to the pieces so the prices seem sensible. So this is the basic, very basic core set structural pieces, but it does come with some accessories as well, which he's grabbing now. You want me to tell you what it has?
And a ladder.
Yes.
And then 2 inside corners.
Yes. So you got that. And then I'm gonna grab some minis just for
no problem.
Scale.
Yep. Whew. And we will, Paul. We'll flip it upside down. We'll be doing some of that. Some of that takes the biscuit pegs.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like it'll take a second. Yeah. So we got a couple of different scales here. Right. This is the stuff that you guys have probably seen most in our ad as well. Our sort of our ad play is the 25 mil, or like the regular standard Starfinder D&D miniature versus Shatterpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Not certain if that's. I can even shift those a little bit so that's easier to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find. I realized this. I thought this one was on. I hope it didn't burn out. Oh, there it is.
Look together, ladder to a console. So in this core set, I'm sorry to. I didn't mean to distract myself here. This core set has 5 straight walls, 3 2x2 floors, 4 corners, a door, a freestanding door, and then an insert. And then these 2 inside corner pillars.
Basically, it's a Soul antechamber. Yeah, basically, it's a Soul antechamber, like a little bit more than a starter dungeon. Come with enough biscuits to make that room a solid piece? Yes, it comes with a good amount of biscuits.
Yeah. We're basically doing biscuits in quantities of 10 every single time you're getting something that has and requires biscuits. So that way, even if you only ever need 6, you have 10. You're just like, by the end of these bundles, you're getting hundreds of biscuits at the end of the day.
As far as paint scheme goes, this is the final paint scheme. Yes. I'm pretty sure like all this stuff is 100% locked in.
It is the final paint scheme for the core pieces. It is the final paint scheme for the console.
Will there be an inside corner pack? I think we're gonna have inside corners in a lot of packs.
There's not going to be an inside corner pack specifically, because this inside corner is in both this regular core set. It's in the advanced core. It's in a mega core. It's in so many base sets at 2 or more value that like at the end of the day, you're gonna have enough, or at least that's how I see it.
We're trying to make those very, because they're intensely useful all the time. Even if you don't have corners to fill, they can be put together to like be little terrain features. They can do quite a bit. The console is part of it. Like the core sets all have like some accessories that go with it to try and like give you some ways to give the room some purpose, basically.
No, I completely understand with the sewers need an inside corner pack. I think the difference here is that the sewers also, the inside corner on the sewers, it has a floor built in. So like it's also necessary for the full construction, whereas this is because it's the half height. It's not half height, but because it doesn't have a built-in floor, it ends up being okay.
Any plans for 4x4 or larger floors? No plans for larger floors in this first set.
Yeah. That is correct.
Yeah.
There's again, some of this is based also on success of this set. Success of this project, and what our next idea for the line would be. It may include a 4x4 floor. We're not certain at this time. Additionally, what other scales we're targeting besides 25 mil? It should be the range of 25 to 40.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what we're hitting. Obviously, Anakin is a head above where the wall height is.
Yeah,
but that's also a whole curve that is an implication. So that's all I would mean by that.
Yeah. And also the scale is definitely more locked into the 25 millimeter range for interiors than exteriors.
Yes.
Because the grid is a 1-inch grid. And so, the reason why we generally feel like that's okay is because most of the time when you're going to be using that grid, when you care about having a 1-inch grid, you're talking about RPGs, and most RPGs are in 25 millimeters.
Right.
When you get into exterior building, that scale and that grid tends to matter a lot less. And that's where most of these larger scale games would be. Most of these larger scale games would be mostly on exteriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's a little bit more than a starter dungeon in terms of size. The footprint is that like 8 inches by 6 inches? 8 inches by
just about
8 by 6 generally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, that whole thing can then be flipped upside down like he's doing here. He just has to biscuit it together to get it prepared. How many decades should we plan to wait for a potential sci-fi follow-up? It depends on how well this does. We're trying to move into, and this is part of it, we're trying to move into a more frequent, smaller projects kind of mode of operation. And so if we can do that, that means like, hey, instead of doing like 200-piece projects that take us like a year and a half to develop, if we're doing 2 or 3 smaller projects a year, it's way easier to move between different biomes and different genres and to fit in a lot of these other projects, So that's the thing. Like if moving into this like smaller, more frequent model works out for us, it'll be easy to kind of just be giving consistent updates to both our sci-fi and our fantasy lines.
So what I did was I basically biscuited each 1x3 together, lined them up. Now individually, they're capable of standing on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And I can shift it around a little bit more. I can biscuit then these all together if I really wanted to. Currently, the only reason I don't want to is time. So yeah, it just ends up being very simple.
Yeah. So the fun thing is with the doors being, wall height without the floor, that means that the same door can just go underneath the exterior building to make like that little bunker.
Yep.
And so with just a general core set, that's generally that's what you're getting. You're getting the ability to make a small room like an antechamber or a starter dungeon. You can also flip it over to be an exterior, and that's also why it comes with a ladder so that you can like give a way to climb up onto it, and it's a terrain feature. Try to make something that is like small enough that it's an easy add-on if you just needed like another room or two. Is there a way to attach the Lowtown Ivy pieces to a bunker?
No, not exactly.
Could you technically get the corner
scales.
post one? They're different.
They're at not to say scales. I mean, sorry, they're at different measurements. The biscuits, right? The biscuit to biscuit for the pole accessory holes, you would not be able to do it. I don't believe so. They're not the same distance as corner post to corner post. They're like if it's pole accessory hole to pole accessory hole between two biscuits, this would be like facade length.
That said, I'm sure somebody's going to find a way to mod things to be able to do it.
Maybe this is the same, right? Like maybe this distance, we haven't tried that. I might try it in my off time just to verify, but like maybe this would be the distance that you would need to cover to be able to do that.
NPC Charles says, it fits together so well, very satisfying to look at. Our prototypes, I think this is the highest quality prototypes we've been able to produce in-house. They take the biscuits way better than our Lowtown prototypes, and it fits together much more accurately. It still doesn't quite match up to like final Dwarvenite stuff, like what we're getting with the Lowtown stuff, but it's working very well.
Just because of the malleability of Dwarvenite, there's a little bit more give on everything. And in fact, I know that you guys went over some Lowtown pieces last week, like all those things fit like gloves. And this is the same unit, though, as a 2-inch railing or a 4-inch railing. So you would definitely still be able to use your railings with this stuff, wooden railings. I know that wouldn't necessarily maybe jive with some people, that like they would be too different, but like these are all the same increments as that, so you would be able to use them there.
As far as the paint complexity, it's actually probably one of the simpler paint schemes Hamster's developed. Honestly, it's pretty simple. We've already shot the painting video for it, and it's mostly edited. It's a pretty simple painting video because they have to paint on all sides. He was really trying to make sure that that we kept the amount of paint steps down, and so he found a way to just get a lot out of. I think it's literally just 3 steps. It's a very simple paint scheme for the core pieces. Okay. If he's here and he's listening, he can speak up on that.
He can define.
Yeah. So that right there is like the smallest interior core set. That is like our standard Starforge core set.
Yes.
Do we want to ballpark pricing, or is that still?
I can definitely do that.
Okay.
This is actually the only times I'm going to have to like really hide pricing is when it is something that I am maybe currently waiting on or currently want to withhold for a little bit longer. Yeah. So for this core set, for all of these pieces, that is currently sitting at $140 painted. And that would also then turn into, pardon me, I've got my notes here, about $85 unpainted.
Yeah. So that's where people are surprised that it's that cheap, which is that's a great response to get from our existing base. We'll see how people who aren't used to our prices feel about it, but is what it is.
But that's what I mean. This core set, again, it's technically a few less pieces than you would see in a dungeon core, but the advantage is the double-sidedness, the double-sided of every piece. Like, this is a thing that you.
And that's the thing. Everybody seems very happy with it. Yeah, that's the thing. This is 85 unpainted. Sounds like a steal. I think a lot of people are going to want to go unpainted with this, just because with sci-fi, I think there's so much like, oh, I want to make it match this aesthetic or like this property. So I think we're going to see a lot of like really cool paint schemes on these. I don't know. We tried really hard to keep costs down wherever we could while designing this, trying to make, because when we wanted to do 360, we were so worried about it making the cost balloon that we took a lot of there was a lot of work both on the sculpting and the painting end on trying to design it in a way that it would stay affordable and accessible.
Yes. Yeah. One other thing is the nature with which, what I like about the core set, by the way, but this one in particular, is that we have a core mega, which sort of blends the core and the advanced core.
And then adds some, really. Yeah.
And we have the advanced core. And what's really neat about this regular thing is, like, if I want to build, say, a ship or a whole base full of extra rooms, that's what this is. This is just an extra room. It comes with a way to have a door. It comes with, if I just add a ship engine, or I have this other accessory, I have this other accessory piece, this room now gets to become super distinct very, very easily and very cheaply. And then if I even just want to do unpainted, 3 core rooms unpainted, great. That's a nice, healthy amount of your core pieces, and then you can spend on other stuff or however you want to go about it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Again, this is the start of our conversation about how the packs are supposed to be modular.
Yeah.
This whole breakdown of our GameFound Starforged experience is going to be about how we are veering away from very specific pledges. One thing that this makes me want to bring up initially is the idea that we'll go over later when we're kind of like looking at one of the bundles, is the structure with which those pledges were made. There was always, hey, if you got a landmark, it was the Wizard's Townhouse. Well, one of the issues with the Wizard's Townhouse is how closely related is that to one of the other landmarks we already made? Are they too similar? And when we get into that discussion, it comes to the modularity of all of our pieces anyway, right? Our product is meant to be manipulated multiple different ways within the same amount of pieces. So how do we do that from a bundles perspective? And that's really what we've tried to do with this project. Limit the scope of the bundles and then put everything into dollar amount spent for stretch goals, and put everything into kind of like how I want to tweak my order to benefit that, and put all the discounts into the bundles, so that way it was an easier way to just say these are all just bespoke. These aren't bespoke. These are all just sorry, I'm going to say the word again, bundles of packs. These are all just things that you can build with at certain amounts, like in certain quantities. That may have been just gibberish. I don't know. I'm sorry. But it's just meant to be like, I'm really excited to show more and to show what we're going for with this project, because it's meant to be the trajectory I'm really hoping for a lot of our product and a lot of how we sell our product.
What's the best way to go from
here?
So, and granted, at the same time, if you do come in and you just get the core set, and that's basically it, like, you can do like a bit, but it's really when you start getting some more pieces on top of that it really starts, the system like starts showing its flexibility.
So what I'm setting up right now is the advanced core, and in the advanced core, it's going to take me a second to grab a couple of more of these accessories.
Also, you might notice we're kind of trying to follow the Caverns core philosophy with the interior design core sets as well. Yeah. In terms of trying to keep them around the same price. Obviously, it doesn't equate to the same amount of pieces as the Caverns core stuff.
Yes.
But trying to target around the same range and think of them in a similar capacity. So, core set, all the standard stuff you need to just like make a room, essentially. And then the advanced core, all the pieces that you don't really need, but that really elevate and kind of let you do more interesting shapes. And then the mega is just like bang for your buck, essentially. You're looking for the accessories. There might be a new piece in the advanced core, actually.
Oh, that's right. There was 2 straight walls on top of that.
Oh yeah, there is. There's some new stuff in the advanced core.
Yep.
Okay.
And then.
Yeah, we're gonna be showing off the pieces. We're gonna show off everything in this set. Don't worry.
Yep. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to.
Not expensive for DF. I think also somebody was talking about this compared to like Warhammer stuff before too. And I think the biggest thing when it gets compared to Warhammer is that this stuff is painted and already assembled too. Well, outside of like having to arrange it as well, It does get a little frustrating at times when, at least compare our unpainted prices to unpainted product, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So this is
the advanced core.
There's a couple new things in there.
The 2 things right out of the gate that I can't show because we're still kind of in the process of getting them done. This actually comes with 2 of these clear panels, and it also comes with 2 different 2x2 textures for the trapdoor floors. They're just not completed just yet, and I didn't, so we don't have them in time. But to kind of go through this a little bit, we've got our 1x2 floor, right, and it's got a reverse side with a kind of nice, cool like exhaust port. We've got our diagonal wall, the accessory wall. Got 4 diagonal walls, 2 accessory walls, 2 straight walls. So that way, if you get this and a core set, you're getting enough straight walls to kind of help still build something at the end of the day. We're getting one of the multi-modules in there. 2 trapdoor floors. And one thing that we are still in development on and trying to decide if we can make it happen is what we want to do is put an interior biscuit hole. We basically want to make one of these biscuit holes go all the way through. So that way you could theoretically do an interior biscuit hole, like biscuit filler. It's not confirmed as of yet. It's just something we're trying to explore, trying to see if we can actually get it done. It's just something that the factory has to approve mold-wise and say that it's actually possible. Then we've got, currently this piece doesn't have a name specifically, so I can't say a name and then have it, but this is it's like just a kind of little, like a unit, like a little electrical drone.
It's our Roomba.
Double-sided. It's got a biscuit hole on the bottom and then also a pole accessory hole that goes all the way through. So you can end up using pole accessory pieces like this arm that I know has been shown off.
Has it?
I thought he had. I swear he had before. So then that just, that sits there and you can shwee. And what's neat about this is we're going to be kicking these legs out just a little bit more.
Biscuit bot.
Yeah, biscuit bot. We're going to be kicking these legs out just a little bit more for one of the pieces that we'll show in a little while, so that it can actually like form around it, or even around pipes. So that way you can have kind of pipe end caps as well.
Hey, Sil's here. Hey, Sil, everybody was talking about how nice the backdrop was earlier. Everybody loves the backdrop. The children love the backdrop.
So this is more of like our Starforged corbel, right? It's a little hard to see. I know it's just it's
Looks better
but
on the screen. Well,
I just mean so this is also a pole accessory holder. Get that in there. You can also flip it upside down, especially when you use it with the accessory wall. This now becomes a nice little cool motif you have.
And it could be like, oh, is that a security camera? Is that for hoisting up cargo? Is that
a laser?
It could be a couple things. It just looks like it's an articulating arm.
And we've got a couple more inside corner. We got 4 more inside corners. So again, these 2 together, you'd get 6 total at the end of the day. And then we have 2 different kinds of trapdoor, or I guess I should just call them insert panels, because these both fit in the trapdoor as well as in the door itself. Right?
Mm-hmm. So that could be, I saw somebody calling it a force field earlier, and it's like, yeah, that could be a force field. It could just be a glass door.
Glass panel or something.
One thing I like to do is use the trapdoor floor. And if you're building exteriors, use the trapdoor floor on the top and then put the glass on top as like a skylight, for example. No inside corners pack standalone currently in the plans.
Not currently. Now, again, the other thing to kind of point out here too with the Starforge project is the opportunity that we've had with a reduced piece count comes a reduced set count. We really try to focus every set to be supremely optimized, and so because we do that, it makes less room. Less room for errors is what I was trying to say. Less room for oh, did we just forget something? No, we only have 30 pieces to remember. We've used them nearly 8 times. They all populate within everything, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So when it comes to an inside corner pack, I want to make it verbal confirmation. I don't think it's a terrible idea. I just currently have no other reason than I get that it's useful and it's cool, but it's in basically every core pack that you can ever have. So it does have a lot of representation already. And that's also, you guys haven't been able to see any of the sets. So how would you know?
But basically every interior core set has those inside corners, and every bundle that has any of those sets has inside corners because of that. So inside corners are going to be very easy to get.
Yes.
And we're talking about, and if you want extras, you're probably gonna be able to get them in the stretch goal rewards as well if you want to get more of those as well.
Yeah. So that's going to be one of the advantages of coming into the game found is our stretch goal chests, which I can't talk about or define yet.
Outside of we're doing a simpler version of what we did in Lowtown.
Yes, I'll go over that, and I can actually go over that in just a second. There's one other question before that, but yeah, outside there's probably going to be a chest there, like you just said, with this in it. So for those in the campaign, it becomes a very appetizing option for those who want more of this thing to sort of get a couple of those packs. The other question I want to answer real quick is the set price for this advanced core.
Oh god, right, yeah, that's.
No, it's fine. We had only just gotten basically through
I just misread that as advanced core set pieces with a question mark. I'm like, yeah, that's what these are. I just read that entirely wrong.
So that is okay. So this advanced core set is sitting around. It's like 150. The one issue is something might actually go down in price, but I'm going to say 150 is the highest accuracy. If it shifts, it's shifting down.
Yeah. We would rather shoot high and be able to get it lower than shoot low and then have it.
So it's 150 painted, 88 unpainted.
Yeah.
These things end up being a complicated paint. These things end up being slightly harder to paint. They're just more exact.
Mm-hmm.
This is also higher volume piece, right? This has more actual actual fabrication to it. So
Gonna be hard for new people to wrap their head around. Yeah, which is then why but it just kind of winds up being the reality of making this stuff in our material and doing this kind of engineering. And so it comes down to it being our job to show the value in that. To show how much use you're gonna get out of these pieces, right? Can you build anything cohesive with it? I think this builds more. Well, it doesn't have a door is the only thing.
No, I mean, you would not be able to, with just an advanced core, build something real.
Kind of like with the Caverns advanced core set.
Yeah, this is meant to enhance your core set. This is meant to enhance any of your builds with additional options, more so than it is to specifically be a contained set.
Yeah.
What I would do if I were to build anything...
It can build exteriors, actually, pretty easily, because you don't need doors for exteriors as much.
Yeah, you could do that. If I were to build it for an interior, though, what I would do is... Sorry, I'm just trying to get a structure in my head. All right, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's put this here.
It'll be a Fiddly Bits pack. I think we'll probably cover that tonight. Probably.
Right. Okay,
flip them all over, make an octagonal landing pad. Oh, I guess, yeah, you could do like a trap door, and it's like this is a room that you kind of come up into. That's probably what he's doing. Never mind. I'll stop.
No, you're good.
Stealing his
Just
thunder.
talk about it. Because if I don't talk, then we're dead.
Fair. What?
Yeah.
That's in the contract?
It's in a contract. I wouldn't say
fair.
our contract.
Some Little Mermaid
Right,
stuff.
so you again, this and this is also a trick with the multi-module, right? Is that I can use my 1x2s. I can use my 1x2s to make a... It's not a real song. It's not anything. Don't make fun of me for doing a dumb thing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So this ends up being a... Again, this is a nice little offshoot, but I would still most likely want a core set or something if it was an offshoot of a bigger build.
Can it be a viable door? You could say that multi-module is some sort of door or obstacle that can be passed through. Like it could be a secret passage.
Because also the backside has, right? Our backside has this. Maybe I can get it up a little bit closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There we go. This is a little bit harder. This is where we have to put all the supports, but there's a lot of extra little bits here and little places to kind of come in here and mess around. There's also even a pole accessory hole right here. So yeah, this is a piece that very clearly, if you had it right here in the as a door, very easy to do. I think webcam stops.
I killed your camera. Hang on a second, I'm fixing it.
All right. It's just a thing that can create a very easy, like you said, secret door or even just a regular door that you want to remove it out.
Meet the Greebles is a very good. That's a good pun. That's very good.
Meet the Greebles, gosh.
Meet the Greebles is that's good. I appreciate that.
Finley.
Literally wearing a Jeffrey Lewis
Finley's
shirt
got a
as
good
we
question.
speak. Finley's got a good. Chapter floors. I mean, Chris. Oh, can they be used on their side as a door?
You can.
Possibly.
It's so there's an interesting thing that I had been finding when I was building was that if I wanted to say put this on the floor, right? Because everything is on the 2-inch, it meets the wall height. The one thing is that because it's 1/2 inch, you don't have a 1/2 inch on the other side. So what I would most likely do and recommend would be to put 2 floors thick, and then you have some sort of passage. And even if you wanted to, you could put it in between.
I hadn't thought of that. But yeah, there's some compatibility we hadn't even thought about. Yeah.
Well, don't say that we haven't thought about.
I was just trying to give you props that like you found something new.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can also mix it with the cables and the flat store. You can mix it with a lot of things. One of the things I had been thinking about with it in regards to like the clear panel had been, wouldn't it be neat if it was like a thing that you have to pass through? Or I was thinking of like checked luggage, but in the future. They'd have to go through TSA. It's some, space authority. They gotta go through the little bin.
Transit Space Authority.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, it could be a scanner. That's a good point.
Yeah. And you can even do that in this way, right?
Does it fit in the regular door? Yeah, all those inserts also fit in the door, the freestanding door.
I'll go ahead and show that again.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the Dungeon of Doom secret wall. I don't know about the secret wall.
What about it?
Does that fit in the regular door?
No. These will not fit in the other insert accessories. These are, not to say unfortunately, but like these are specifically kind of sized for this. So it's not at the same size as any of the other trapdoors. It's also not at the same size as some of the other like swinging doors. I say that out loud, and I'm like, the arch insert, however, yes, if that was your question, if it was about the open arch in Dungeon or even the arch wall that just came out in Lowtown, yes, these would fit in there. They won't have the, you don't have
the bar on top.
The bar on top to hold it, but I mean, if you just slot it in there, it'll work.
Yeah.
If that was the question, apologies.
No wall of snakes.
No wall of snakes.
You can have it all. My wall of snakes.
So again, advanced
right,
core. Yeah. I know you're doing hurt. I get it. Yeah.
I'm always doing hurt.
But again, more likely that you would mix this with a core set or with other sets, not just on its own. Jesus, it's already 7:54.
Yeah. we're gonna. Time flies.
There's a lot to talk about, and also what do you want me to go over? Like, do you want to look at the Core Mega?
The Core Mega sounds like a lot to do. I think what would be interesting is to show the exterior kind of core approach, potentially.
The bunker?
Yeah, the bunker builder. So basically, we're looking at like 5 core sets altogether. 3 interior. You've seen everything except for the... Or do we do the Core Mega? Well, he's already going for the bunker builder. Let's go for that. What's the composition of Core Mega? Oh man, maybe we'll go to that later.
We can still go to that. I'm just trying to do the bunker real quick. Or, I'm sorry.
We got to leave some beans for Nate to.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say myself. I was like, I want to show off more. I do want him to be able to show off some stuff too. I think if he goes through the mega builds, that's going to be more fun because he can have a little bit more prep on that. These are just kind of the base ones. Just know that the Core Mega has more straight walls, floors, and corners than the core set, and it takes pieces from the advanced core, namely the diagonal wall, the accessory wall, and a ream of accessories on top of that, and puts them in the Core Mega. And so the Core Mega comes out to around 360, I believe it is 360 right now.
And it has more pieces. It has more pieces than the two of those combined.
Yes.
But like the ratios are a bit different. Like I
Slightly
think it
different
doesn't have
ratio,
as many diagonals as but it has like more floors.
Yes.
It has it's
more straight walls, more corners, more inside corners as well, and then a bunch of accessories. Basically, the room I built goes out by about 30%. It like 30 to 40% bigger room than just the regular core set.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's what we're targeting with that, is trying to stick around with kind of like the Caverns core.
Yeah.
Pricing.
So I'm going to show the bunker builder, and I'm not going to show the bunker mega, because I'll leave those two things.
The bunker
for Nate.
mega has some stuff that's okay.
That's what I mean. I'll leave that for Nate.
There's the right, because there's the one very cool thing in the bunker builder. So we can still show that.
Yeah, I mean, if we do a bundle, I'm going to have to show it. But that's fine.
Yes. Yeah.
But he'll get to show it off more and talk
it still saves a couple other very cool things for him to show. Yeah. Yes. So let's do bunker builder.
Okay. All right. So take all this stuff out. I don't know what the comments are saying about what that exchange just was. Like that nothing.
Are the bunker
exchange.
builds the name for the external focus sets? Yeah. So there's basically like the bunker builder and then like the bunker mega builder.
Yes.
There's no like bunker advanced builder, just because that's not really.
If you use the bunker builder and the advanced core, you're already getting
the advanced core. The advanced core actually applies to both of them.
Yes.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Oh, people are wondering the unpainted price for core mega.
Apologies. Let me go ahead and double check that real quick.
$2.
360 painted, 213 unpainted. Numbers suspect to change.
Numbers suspect.
In a range, I'd put that between 350, 370 painted, just to blanket it.
What factory tech led you guys to start texturing all sides? It wasn't really an advancement in tech. It was just us kind of like deciding it was worth it for this project.
Yeah, they've always, so it's technically always been possible.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes pieces more expensive.
Yeah.
And additionally, I will also say 3D sculpting has also adjusted that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've
changing
built
our
the
workflow.
entirety of Starforged from ground up in 3D, we've been able to preconception everything from that stage all the way around. So like, God, I keep feeling I'm not saying anything worthwhile, but the point is,
Dude,
that
I feel that every day.
is that just that like it is from start to finish. This has been 3D, so that's kind of the other reason we're able to even think of it. I think because most of the times when we're making our clay sculpts on the wooden blocks, you don't get a dead side. To do 360 sculpts, you usually have to do either green stuff from the beginning, and that's nearly impossible with anything that's large. So if we have to do monster clay, we then have to cast it and then give it a dead side and then sculpt on that anytime we've had to do that. So it was a long process in that way. So this has really saved us some time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the bunker builder has, I just need a few more pieces. Multi-module.
You're gonna this is probably gonna be the coolest bean of the night.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
This is, I gotta double check something real quick. Okay.
Making sure you get the right quantities. And then what's a good giveaway word? Because I can just go ahead and do that now while you're pulling this.
Oh.
Bunker? Oh. Should we reveal the word when you reveal it?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So this set has 2 diagonals, 2 straight walls, 2 corners, a staircase, multi-module, one other item that I'll reveal in just a minute. Basically, this set is meant to do features on a skirmish type battlefield quickly. The reason that this has quote unquote so little pieces, it's all core, is so that you can build and build and build with just one set repeatedly and get every piece that you kind of need to just like sort of start building out vertically. Yeah. If you get this multiple times, you're getting some of the most useful pieces in the entire line. Additionally, it's fairly cheap, right? Mm-hmm. This is a 90, I want to say, Yeah, this is a $95 pack, painted. Currently, and $58 unpainted.
And it scales up well.
And it scales up well, and it's a thing where it's like it's that cheap, and it's meant to be used in multiples.
Yeah.
Because we also in this set,
ladies and gentlemen, your word for the giveaway is barricade. Barricade.
Is that too much? Is that too long a word?
No, it's good. We've done worse. Barricade. Barricade. Barricade is your word for the $50 Dwarven Forge gift card. Everybody is eligible. Digital gift card. Go ahead and type barricade in chat. And Bear Arcade. There you go.
Bear Arcade? Hell yeah. I would go. It'd be dangerous, but I'd go.
Barricade's my favorite heart song. Yeah, so this is a big, it's a, I think this is the first of the exterior focused dressing accessory pieces we've shown.
Yes.
There are more. We're going to save the rest of them for Nate to show off.
So I'm not doing the exterior bundle? You want me to do the interior bundle later?
Let's continue walking through this while I check some things real quick.
Yeah, great.
I need to leave something for him or he's going to be
I completely agree. So we'll keep moving.
Let me look at what these let me look at what's in these bundles.
Yeah. So this piece is very, 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 very cool. Yeah. This was an idea from myself and Hamster. This was a thing where we were in the concept phase anyway. This was our thought of like, it would be really nice to have a railing that you can also double as a barricade, because so often in either skirmish games or in just in general, it feels like you want little tiny bits of scatter that give this motif, right? Freestanding, we don't have to do a lot of work on it. Toby then took that and has made what this is very impressive, and it's got all this interesting design.
Yeah, let me get in on that.
Yeah, so we've got, I'm trying to make sure that the sheen isn't too much. But we've got all of these,
If only they did that for Jimmy Neutron.
additional little rivets and things, like all this other detail. And the front also has these like additional panels that kind of mimic the core set, and then all these little sides. The main concept for this from Toby was also that it was collapsible. So like the whole motif of the sculpt is that like it would shrink down and then close up and be easy to transport. So it's like a traveling barricade where you could then like wheel it out and then set it and then like press a button and then it would open up, transform into real barricade. Some of the other cool things about it, just because I want to make sure that if there's any questions, I'm not missing them. It's got a pole accessory hole on top and bottom, which means also it freestands in either direction. And so you can actually put it up against your pieces, making it look closer to like armor plating or any sort of like ablative plating. It's 2 inches long. I can't remember exactly how high. I think it's 38 millimeters high. So 1.5 inches, I think. So that way you can actually put it here and you can place a floor directly on it, still biscuited inside, and now it's just like an under texture. Lastly, it does also have a biscuit. So that means you can right?
Why don't we go ahead and do some minis for scale?
I was going to put, so now you can also, right?
So like for Shatterpoint specifically, since you have Anakin there, that's a great way to give like cover.
Yeah.
Without like, it's still, the mini's going to be tall enough to look over it so you can still target them, but it's still going to give you like cover, for example.
Yeah.
So that's like useful. It's a very cool thing to be able to like throw on a Shatterpoint battlefields and they can hunker down next to them. You can put your ranged units there, have your troopers like hunker behind them and be firing over the wall. Yeah.
Now, Hamster's paint scheme on this is also very, very cool, in my opinion. This mimics both the catwalk pipelines as well as the core set, as well as like the core pieces, rather.
It's kind of blended
now,
too. Yeah.
If you ever put it into your regular walls, it matches. If you want to, this is just going to take a second. Delicately.
Delicate?
Delicate.
Delicate?
Delicate.
My favorite Pokemon.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah. So so you can fasten them on the side of catwalks too. Yeah.
You can even have it like that if you wanted a pipeline to be protected by this thing. It freestands, so you would be able to do that normally. But if you want to maybe give it a little bit more structure or do some other interesting motif with this, you can. Now, the only thing I will say is if you want to freestand like this is a different height than the pylon. So it might not specifically match up at the top of a pylon, but it'll match up at the bottom hole of a pylon. So you're mostly okay. There's going to be like one little tiny weirdness to it. If it goes up a floor height, then it'll be perfectly even. So yeah, it's all about like half-inch and full-inch increments, that kind of thing. Like the whole system is.
Will there be a pull accessory pin for these? As two of those pinned together look like they could make an interesting platform or hover vehicle.
What do you mean?
If you could pin two barricades on top of each other, basically, and then put them on their sides or something like.
There is no plan to have pole accessory pegs included in the pack, mainly because it also comes with. There's a barricades pack. I'm sorry,
That answers another question.
There is a barricade specific pack. Yes. Yeah. This bunker builder comes with 3. The bunker mega builder also comes with 3 barricades.
Mm-hmm.
And then the barricade pack comes with 6 barricades and 2 of a pole accessory. I don't think that we've shown off yet.
It's very possible.
Can I
we do
show
want to
it
leave
off?
a couple things.
Can I show that one off? It's the smaller one.
It is a smaller one. Okay? How many is left if we show that one? What do we?
Oh, there's the big one. There's also
the big one.
There's also the that it sits on.
Yeah. Okay.
There's stuff.
There's still some things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's still some interior stuff that we haven't shown as well.
Yeah.
Not many, but there's some.
Yeah. And also the.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Forgot about that one. Yeah. Just that one too. But yes, so I think in a better answer to your question, it is possible to do that. You can use the pole accessories to stack them, right? Like you can do that, and it would line up, and it would, you'd be able to put a couple of them together. I've never tried to do it with multiple on top. I've only ever done it with just the one on top, and that's kind of the only way that pole accessory is going to work.
Letitia, have you not gotten the peace photo for the boyoing yet?
Letitia's gonna. Oh man, she's gonna. Oh no, not Letitia.
She's in chat. She's like,
she's gonna make fun of me, man.
Do it.
I don't want that.
Yeah. There's other stuff we could go through. Let's see.
Super large blade. Like also, the issue I would have with doing something like this, right, and trying to make it like any sort of structure, is that the only thing you would then have hooking it to anything is the bottom pole accessory. And you could do that in a floor or any of these, biscuit pegs, but you have to like offset it if you want it to go in the hole proper. And if you put it in the biscuit hole, it's going to be loose. So that would be my one caution on that. I don't think it's impossible, but this would be you'd be harder pressed.
People will find a way, though.
Oh, that's the way you would do it. It just is. It's not super secure.
So they would spin like a trap. I would. That's how you put propellers on the back of your.
I guess you could do
spaceship.
it that way too, if you wanted.
Make a gyroscope. All right, I'm going to roll this giveaway real quick.
Yes, sorry.
Worm's Blood. Worm's Blood, you've won a $50 Dwarven Forge gift card. I'm going to whisper you real quick, and we will get that set up. Okay. All right. Perfect. You should have gotten a whisper out of that. And okay, so with where we're at now,
I have one thing I wanted to show.
go for it. I'm thinking about where to take it next.
Great.
There's so much to go through.
I'm going to give you a second to think about that then.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
The thing that also comes in the barricade pack, but not in the bunker builder, just bear with me, is this pole accessory little blaster cannon. A bleep. I should have looked at the camera while I was looking at that so I can. That's good noise, right? That's a good space noise.
That's the sound that space guns make.
I love this thing.
Can you believe people tune into the show on a regular basis?
Well, it's because I'm not here. So there's I love all this little exhaust port, like just the exhaust ports, and also just the feeling like it's just a plate on top of something that if you removed that, it would just be like wiring and a bunch of bowl inside. I love that. It just makes it really clean and simple. And also it's got this nice little curved bit down here as if it's like a feed. Oh, geez. Did you break the camera again?
All right, look. To be fair.
To be fair, what?
It's not turning back on. Hang on. I might have really.
Right. Okay, great. So as I'm going to try to see if I can read chat as it's happening. That tan looks a little too clean. Needs some weathering or camo stripping. Hey, if you'd like.
Hey.
Sold 6 extra blasters. Yeah. How many in the barricade pack? There's 2 of these in the barricade pack.
You pointed a gun at the camera.
Oh yeah, well.
Just what you do before a heist, where you just break the camera and it's just feeding through the.
Give me your money. Yeah, save that sound effect. Yeah, save that. Clip that.
What would I replace?
I don't know.
You know.
Sorry, that was making me think something. I don't think I. So this is also one of our accessory packs, right? One of our dressing packs, I should say. And just to give you a taste of like where that one's going to be, where that barricade pack is going to be, that's around $50. If we put more blasters in there, that goes up. So that's kind of the other reason I'm like, I want to put at least 2. If you're getting 6 barricades, you don't need 6 guns necessarily. It's better if it's kind of, more focused on the key piece in that pack. But yeah, so we're looking at about $50 painted, and it would be about $30 unpainted. So, yeah.
He just ran to the bank yelling boy yoing and holding a tiny gun.
That's not untrue.
It's a perfect price. Yeah, we're trying to make it so also the thing with it, and I think when we get into bundles, it's really where a lot of this stuff is going to start showing its value a ton. With every collection, with every biome, I feel like there's a point where you hit a point of enough saturation of pieces where it's like, okay, you can do a lot with this collection now, and that's like where it really starts feeling valuable. You get to the point where like every set makes it feel like you can do like 1,000 different things.
Yeah.
And that was one of the hard things with Lowtown, is that saturation point was pretty high just because the nature of like needing 4 walls and a floor and corner posts like for a basic building.
And if you want to do different walls for different purposes, if you want to add an LED wall, you want to add a magnet wall, you want to add
Give a look at the stairpiece. Doors. Have we not shown the stairpiece yet? I feel like we have.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be new. Okay,
I'm happy to show it. I mean, I don't know how new it is in terms of.
I thought we'd shown it. We might not have.
So I'll grab one more piece just because it's not in this. It's not in this pack, but it's fine to. The other stair piece is all I was going to show. So it's much like the city system, right? We have a short stair, we have a large stair. They both have biscuits on the back, though. I should hold that up. Biscuits on the back, and this also has an additional design. It has, right, a cutout. Let's see if I can put my... Is that helping at all? No. Okay. There's also a couple of additional bits on the inside. Again, it's a little shadowed. But the bottom even has these additional designs. If you put it up on its side, it can look kind of... and I would say also if you had something like this, right? if we have something like this on the sides of it, really starts to lead more into a structural, like what, is this an engine? Is this a...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Center heights for line of sight blocking war. So with Warhammer, I believe, is Hamster still here or has he gone home?
I don't know.
He's probably gone home by now.
Yeah.
I think for Warhammer, for line of sight blocking, like the whole model needs to be hidden behind it. So it's gonna be tough. Like you need to stack fairly high when you get to larger models.
Yeah.
But yeah. But like for rank and file for battle lines, it'll probably be easier to make something line of sight blocking out of this. I definitely think like, like the focus on this, our stuff's definitely going to be compatible with 40K, right? But I think I think 40K is not our best fit. I do think that being able to say the big appeal with this and what we're really trying to hammer on is anything sci-fi you play, there's a use case for this. So the more games you play, the more value there is to this set, because you can take this and you can use that in Starfinder, then turn around and on the weekend like use it to make like a terrain feature in 40K. You can do some rounds of Stargrave on it. You can combine it with the Shatterpoint core terrain to like add more interesting ways to add cover and more like interactable more ways to like since these are 2 inches, like Shatterpoint uses 3 inches is like a big cutoff. So if you do a 2-story versus a 1-story building, you can add like interesting traversal to Shatterpoint boards. It's really trying to show like if you play multiple games, every game you play just kind of adds value to the set.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of the other adage of the sort of modular component system even too, is that it's like we want you to bundle and build towards your use case more so than we want to hit a nice price point or make a very specific encounter build.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make build styles, rather, we want to make bundles that have something to build out of them, but what that is still going to be left to you. So there's a couple of questions here on the stair. I feel like I've seen that. I think we saw an earlier version of it. There was. Does the short stair work as a stair jack for holding minis? Well, funny you should say that, is that you could technically use it as a stair jack, right? Like I could end up utilizing it like that, and I could put a miniature on it, and it would end up helping you out. Yes, you can use it like a stair jack. But you can also, depending on if your mini allows it, I think this guy has a weird base. You should, that's right, he was making it, you can actually just push it. There's like a small divot just like the stairs in Lowtown where most minis will be able to kind of like fit in there and be clipped. But again, stair jack, yes.
The short answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that specific thing, right? Stair jack. It's like the Castle Straight stairs. Yes, right? You have this stair, which is at one height so that it matches better with catwalks and pipes and that system, as well as then if you put it on a floor, right? If you have a floor height here, now it goes directly up to the height of the wall. There was something right after that. Can you biscuit the larger stair to the wall while the stair is upside down, like a radar assembly on the side? You can indeed.
Interesting. There's a lot of, just because of the, oh my god.
Please be patient. These are prototypes.
Yeah, this is true. Like these are the best prototypes we've ever had. It's still not quite the material that the biscuit system is made for, so it fights us a little bit.
So yes, right. I can set this up. So now it looks. Let me push this forward. Sorry. So now it looks like a. Right.
That's cute. Yeah, you can definitely do something with that.
Yep. One other thing that I like about it,
yes,
about this, right? Because I've biscuited this short stair. This can be right up in here, or I can just auto put it like that, and now it's a right? Not the biggest deal in the world, I think, to some people, but to me, it's nice to be able to like have a choice in sort of like, and then if I have to, in my build, I want to put a multi-module, or I want to put something else here, or I want to put something under there, I have a better option to do that. I'm not constrained to having to build it this way because this stair didn't have the biscuit hole or whatever. This is also helpful because you can use it in the same way that you're trying to use that one. You can use it as an extra lip or just an extra thing to interact with. Let's say I take my command console right there, and now it's, this is controlling a jet stream or something like that. Anyway, that was the long and short of it.
Okay, we've got a little over a half hour left. Should we do Megacore and then an interior bundle?
I don't think we're gonna have time for both. I can't do both.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that like I don't want to. I'm saying like we've been talking about so much stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm like I don't have. And it's funny that we were worried that we were gonna overshare and not leave Nate anything.
Yeah.
I think what I would like to do is leave Core Mega and any of the bundle. If we really want to see one or the other, would you rather see a Core Mega or would you rather see a bundle?
Interior bundle, interior bundle. Well, if we do an interior bundle, that's basically a Core Mega plus some stuff. Anyways, what would it? Let's see.
Oh, sorry. What was the? Flip the stair upside down and bring it up to the landing like a buttress. Talking like that.
Core Mega walkthrough, Core Mega. We could do a Twitch pull.
Is that what you're talking about, Paul? Like, I could put a floor under it, too, if it was needing to be at the same height or whatever. Flip it 180? Do you mean like that? Oh, I see what you mean.
Okay, there's a poll going.
Like this?
There's a poll going.
Great, thank you. While I was trying to figure out what he was
It's interesting.
talking about.
Because yeah, it seems fairly split, so we'll just put it to a vote real quick.
Okay.
I think like most of the interesting stuff to show is in our exterior collection. So I think just showing leaving the rest of the exterior stuff to Nate, I think makes a ton of sense. But I guess basically the other thing to know then is there's 2 core sets left, and those are basically the megas. And there's one for interiors and one for exteriors. And then we have catwalk and pipe sets. We have the barricade set, and then we have dressing sets.
Yeah.
And interior dressing and exterior dressing. There's new stuff in both of those. We're probably gonna save those for Nate. What the new stuff in those probably.
Mm-hmm. The smallest bundle does not use the smallest interior bundle. Only uses the Core Mega.
They're saying interior bundle. Interior bundle is going to give you a good sense of the Core Mega anyways. Yeah. Cool. So why don't we grab the Core Mega pieces first for it and then add to it to make that bundle.
Yeah, sure.
That makes sense.
Flip the stairs up. Okay, so you want the stairs upside down. Then have the bottom tip touching the bunker like that. That's what you want.
Oh, I thought it was an opposite buttress. Okay. Will there be landmark and district equivalents in this campaign? Sort of. We're going to have way less than... we're not doing landmark and district.
I can talk about that. I have no problem talking about that.
Okay.
If you want to help me gather some pieces for this bundle.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Great.
I will help with that. Okay.
So, to talk about that is to say the way that the structure of the bundles will work is we will be doing a starter bundle for both interior and exterior, a mid-range bundle for an interior and an exterior, and then a larger, full table bundle for an interior and an exterior. And that's basically it. That's the offer. And there will also be a Catwalks mega pack, and there will also be an accessory mega pack. And at the current moment, what we are discussing and trying to get verified that it's all going to work out is then doing a basically all-in bundle that unlocks in the pledge manager phase. Because what we want to do with an all-in is include stretch goals, right? Anything that's a stretch goal that we unlock, we want to be able to, and you can pull, don't forget that we have pieces right
Do you
here.
still have the advanced core stuff here?
Yeah.
Because the advanced core.
Just take 2 of those, and call me in the morning. I just mean like take 2 of them away.
Oh, okay.
Because I only need 2. Sorry. So there's going to be an all-in pledge, but it's going to attempt to try to accommodate for the stretch goals they had unlocked, and then even then we will also have a bundle where it's a mega pack of all of the stretch goal unlocks, right? So if there's a pack that has this cool item and there's 5 stretch goal unlock packs, there's going to be a bundle that rounds those things up in a nice quantity at a discount for everybody. So the mega packs will have a small discount. The starter bundles will have a discount that's a little bit higher, and the discounts go up in a commensurate rate for all of those bundles. That's kind of the long and short of it. The moral superiority of the interior building community. We must shun the outsiders. Yeah, so it's also the way that those price increments go up as well is meant to be very structured, right? What we want to try to do is get you to levels that are actually sort of like, what's up? It's 2 accessory walls, 2 diagonal walls. Does the Mega
have 6 straight walls and 8 corners, or I thought it was 8 straight walls and 6 corners?
8 straight walls and 6 corners. You may be reading something else.
I may be reading the wrong sheet. Okay.
It's 8 and 6.
That's what I thought. Okay.
The bunker mega has a different value. So there we go. That's 6. All right, I'll hand this back. Don't need this. That's 4. Great.
And there's your other 4 for straights.
Okay.
I've pulled this composition specifically so many times at this point.
Don't need those. Don't need these. But the sorry, not to leave dead air. Just trying to think of a last sort of thing to say about the bundles that I can say is stretch goal structure.
Oh yeah. How are we doing it differently?
So we are still doing treasure chests, or that system that we did in Lowtown, right? The difference is we're not doing small and large. They are all going to be one type of chest. We're going to have multiple choices, and one of them for certain is going to be a just get another floor, another wall, another corner, right? If you just want more of the base core pieces, we will have a chest for you to do that. If you want more accessories, we'll have a chest to do that. I think we're going to be calling them something other than treasure chest, but that's just the best way to make certain that you know what I'm talking about. Every $500 spent during the campaign will give you access to a choice of one of those. So at $500, you get 1. At $1,000, you get 2. At $1,500, you get 3. And at every $2,000, we're giving you an extra 1. So at $2,000, you get 5 chests instead of 4. And then so on and so forth. This was our attempt at trying to better that system, because one of the things that we found with the small and the large, it got kind of unwieldy. It kind of got slightly confusing to try to make sure, wait, which one do I want to choose? I should probably just choose the larger one because it has the better components, but I also really like this one. So that's what I mean. It's like we tried to just basically pare it down, make it an easier choice, make those choices more meaningful, and then at that point also give the extra bonus at every 2,000 so that it also feels a little more worth the time and like worth the value, I guess is what I would say. So again, so those are based on amount pledged, and we're still trying to work out the structure with GameFound about when things get collected and when we were actually going to be able to choose those chests. We're not certain if it's going to happen at close of project or close of pledge manager at this moment. I think it's going to be close of pledge manager because we have to get the total amount spent between the two before we would allow you to start choosing that stuff. So yeah.
That's the way it's looking currently. Going off our conversation so far,
Yeah.
it looks like it would be like a second wave of Pledge Manager again, but easier to manage because it's going to be an integrated Pledge Manager instead of going to a separate site. So it should still be easier than Lowtown.
Yes, that's pledge amount before taxes and shipping. Yes. I think also there was a question before. There was one or two questions before. Is this all the pieces?
That's all the basic core pieces. It's missing like some doors and accessories. Is all it's.
So
left.
we got door, pipes.
So we need 4 blast doors, 1 cable, 1 clear panel. I had the multiple modules of the console. Look at the stairs. 2 ladders.
2 ladders.
2 pole accessory holders and an articulating arm.
All right.
And that should be everything.
Can you scroll up a little bit and double check one of the questions?
So no larger and small, just bonus of 2K. Yeah, instead of having we're trying to cut down on the amount of chests that were there because we had so many before that we're trying to make it easier to, people liked the stretch goal system, but it seemed like we made it a little overcomplicated and a little like too large. So we're trying to pare it back into something that is easier to understand while still being as flexible as before. Will the discounts be clearly communicated? Yeah, GameFound does a fun feature where we can show like this is what a set would be without discount, and then like have a little slash and shows like what it is with the discount. So we're able to do that with the bundles and mega packs. Basically, we're able to say, like it's taking these 4 component sets and putting them together. And if you got those all separately, it would be this price. But if you get this mega pack, this is the price it's actually going to be. So, yeah, GameFound like lets us do that on sets. So that's good.
Was there something above that?
I was looking for questions. I answered the 2 discounts here.
Okay, you got the one from Dragos then. Great.
The stairjack thing, yeah.
That was why I was trying to
Dragos's.
make sure. That was the one I saw, so thank you.
No worries. Personally, I like the large chest because it gave more options, but that's just like about what we put in there, right? And the main thing is with us having like a smaller piece count this time, there's not that much of a variety in pieces that we can.
You can't really give a large chest in this one. So it was about, we're trying to give just the things that are going to matter more to to you directly through those chests rather than swing for a large one because it has a couple cool components in it.
Okay, so this bundle is a core mega, an advanced core, and the floors. I have the floors pulled. I just need to grab the inserts for them.
Wait, what?
Hmm? I'm talking to the other sets. I got to pull outside of the core mega.
So wait, this was just the core mega.
I just pulled the core mega there. That's all the structural. That's all the pieces for the core mega.
Okay.
And then I have the floor set pulled separately there, and I just need to grab the 2 blast doors, 2 cables. Well, we don't have enough clear panels.
We don't have enough clear panels, but we should have enough cables. I got 2 trapdoors right here. 3 floors.
This is the floor set.
Oh, okay. I'll...
Floor set, then it just needs blast doors.
Okay.
And then it's the advanced core. More thinking about Hightown. Oh, yeah. Well, who knows what Hightown's going to look like as well. Like, yeah, who knows? Who knows what Hightown's going to end up looking like? We're definitely going to see, we're going to learn a lot from doing Starforge the way that we're doing it, right? And so then we can take what we learn here into running all of our future projects, including Hightown. So Hightown might even look different than this,
Right.
Let's see.
That's that. This and then.
Is there any benefit to pledging day 1? Helping us get more attention.
Yeah.
Will the treasure chest grow as more milestones reach for the campaign? It's interesting because one of the bits of feedback we got was that not having it clear what was going to be in the chests made it hard to see the value in them before.
Yep.
But it's also, that was like largely how we were unlocking things. So I think we're talking about like ways that we can try to make them still feel valuable while also kind of revealing things.
Yeah.
Over time. So that's something we're still kind of working on is what does that look like? Yeah. Okay.
I just need 2 more diagonals for the advanced. And then, I mean, yeah, there's accessories and shit. 2 diagonals.
Okay.
Sorry about that, everybody.
So I think we've got 3 sets pulled currently. One of them you've seen, which is the Advanced Core set. We've got the Mega pulled, and then we've got the Starforge floor set, which is another component set we've got, which obviously is, hey, do you want more floors?
5 2x2s, 4 1x2s, 2 trapdoors with all 3 inserts.
Yeah. So that's just a collection of all the floor options, basically. They ended up awesome in the beginning. They didn't seem very promising. Yeah, so it's because revealing stuff is what helps people keep invested in the campaign and all that. But
yeah. Well, also, did you talk about the coin?
Oh yeah, the coin. Yeah. I mean, if you follow the campaign before we launch, you get a free challenge coin, which with your completed pledge. Like we only send it if you actually pledge for something.
Yes.
So that's like a bit of a small thank you, for following early. But you don't have to pledge day 1 to get that coin if you follow us before the project launches. But we're not doing early bird things, because we don't want people to feel like, oh well, I missed out on getting the deal, so I'm less interested in the project now.
Yeah.
So we don't do early bird stuff.
Do you think I should do the main build or the alt build? Main has the elevated center.
Do you want to do the interior or the exterior, basically?
Well, no, they're both in. I'm saying.
Oh, right. This is the other bundle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's build the main.
Okay.
And then maybe there'll be time to do the alt build.
You got it. I will do my best.
Okay, so what you're looking at directly in front of him is basically that's the Mega Core.
I'm gonna try to piece together here. Mega Core. Advanced Core.
Oh, here, let me.
You're gonna have to shift a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mega Core. Advanced Core. Floor set. Loading screen.
Yeah.
Loading screen before fast travel. Loading screen after fast travel. It's one of the best bits that he's got his sister to do. It's
Naked
so
Jakey.
funny. Yeah, dude. So funny.
Okay, let's see. Let's get into it.
Get straight.
So, it's one of the best videos of the year. Yeah, I don't know. Naked Jakey is.
He is a fantastic.
As far as
creator.
gaming YouTube goes, like that's just such a solid. Boysenberry. Okay, now we're going into Cunningham muffins. Another classic.
And I don't like it.
Glass.
Saying don't eat glass.
Muffin flavored muffin.
Glass muffin. Blood.
All right.
That's I think that's my absolute favorite one. Blood.
So, and you already went through. So basically, we're talking about 6 bundles. Essentially, we're talking about a small, a medium, and a large. Basically,
we're calling it a starter bundle.
Yeah.
Just to be like, it's great places to be when you're at those. Has there
muffin button?
No, I was just looking for a particular question, and if it hasn't been asked.
So we're building out the starter interior bundle right now, which consists of a mega core, an advanced core, and a Starforge floors pack. And so this is going to give you kind of an idea.
If you want to read the piece breakdown, I know that's not necessarily that interesting. I'm just saying if you want to say like how many floors that is.
The people who are interested in this are here.
Right. So
the people who do
if
find
you want
it
to talk
interesting,
about the piece count,
you
can
do for the core mega.
Yes. No, not just for the core mega.
The whole thing?
You can do for the interior bundle. How many of blank does that give you? Insert piece here.
Starter bundle interiors. Yeah. So all together, with all those together, we're talking about 13 2x2 floors and 12 1x2 floors, 10 straight walls, 6 corners, 4 accessory walls, 6 diagonal walls.
Yeah.
So basically that's 12 corners, because diagonals are kind of like another shape on corner.
Yeah.
And then accessories are another shape on straight. So basically 14 straight walls and 12 corners. 13 2x2 floors, 12 1x2 floors, 6 trapdoor floors which is an
5
alternate
golden
2x2. And then, you know, like all the inserts.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of accessories in here too.
6 blast doors, 5 cables. As far as building things go, 2 door walls, 8 inside corners, 3 multi-modules.
Yeah.
And the command console, that little computer. 4 pull accessory holders, 2 articulating arms, 2 ladders, 2 short stairs, a stair, 50 biscuit pegs. Like, talk about price range. We talked about some price ranges.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I specifically said for the bundles.
Not for the bundles, no. But we've been talking about some price ranges. Should we talk about what we're trying to generally hit with the bundles?
Yeah, that's. I was like, I'm comfortable saying it.
Okay.
Again, you know, these are. What I'm going to say out loud is 2 things. Number 1, obviously, with everything that we've been talking about tonight, this is subject to change by launch. Like any of these things that I'm saying are suspect. I am fairly certain with a lot of them. I feel very comfortable with them. I've gotten to know them. I've partied with them. They're friends. But at the same time, certain things can come to light. Certain pieces can be more expensive than we originally thought. And we're trying to do our best prior to that to get as close to a number anyway that like it's going to be great for final production. And so that might adjust these things. How much that will adjust things is very minimal. It will be within $4 to $5, right? I'm not talking, oh, we thought it was going to be $130, it's $160. We've already gone through those phases. We've already gone through a lot of that. That was initially, I was really hoping we were going to get this at $100 and now it's $140 or whatever. We're like, okay, this is just the nature of the product. This is the nature of the fabrication, blah, blah, blah. For the starter bundle interior that I am building right now, it is slated for about $560. Let me double check that.
And this is for basically...
This is painted.
3 sets put together. It's a mega core, advanced core, and a floor pack.
Let me adjust it slightly. $570 painted. That's with the discount.
Yeah.
That means that's $340 unpainted with the discount, subject to change.
Everything subject to change. And so that means that we have an exterior bundle that is as close to that same price point as possible.
Yes.
And then we, you know, that's the thing. We're trying to make the interior and exterior options be around the same price for like each level. My random guess was $559. I was weirdly close.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say weird, but yeah.
Will you be doing a paint pack as well, like you did in Wildlands Reforged? Probably. Like we've been getting more comfortable with doing that stuff.
Which one?
Will we be doing like a paint pack in the Pledge Manager? We've been getting more comfortable with doing that, so maybe.
Yeah, I can't say specifically if there's a solid plan.
Yeah.
Not we haven't talked about it. Not we don't want to. It's been on the lower rung of priorities, and those are actually really easier for us to whip up at the last second.
I think what's interesting about it is this is the first time that we've had metallics like in the core paint schemes in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like the metallics have always been for like accessories, but now that we're doing sci-fi, like we've actually got metallics like in the core paint schemes.
Right.
Will there be new paint for sci-fi? I'm pretty sure he used all existing paints.
Yeah, can't fully answer that. Do not know.
Yeah, don't know for sure. There were like some mixtures, so it's possible we'll be like, it's better to make a new mixture for this.
It's a new mixture. It's a mixture.
It's a mixture. It's a mixture. It's a mixture. Yeah, like I know, for example, I'm pretty sure like the first step on this was he was doing deep lava. It's like the undercoat.
I don't want to say that I can't.
Don't want to say for sure. Yeah.
It's more so that like it's not. I don't know off the top of my head.
Fair.
I've got enough SKUs in there that I can't.
Need premixed Underdoom purple. Hamster and Aaron have been beating that drum for a while.
Yeah.
And if we do make a new paint color, that's probably one of the first new ones we'll make is pre-mixed Underdoom, especially as we're bringing Underdoom back into the store, and all that. And because we don't have a purple like in our collection, so it'd be good to just actually just make a purple. That said, making a new paint color is a whole process. Yeah. Surprised Nate isn't on that purple. I think the main thing is just purple was one side paint scheme in one Kickstarter, and then on accessories and stuff, you know. So it just wasn't treated as important because it was always like an accessory in minis color and not like a core paint scheme color. But yeah. Let's see.
In fact, I can say that the exterior starter bundle is going to be like $562.
Exterior is a little cheaper
with discount.
A tiny bit.
Yeah, it's just slightly different. So the other overarching thing I want to say about that is that we are giving the same discount to bundle levels, right? So the discount
same
applied.
Percentage.
Sorry, yeah, same percentage. Sorry, that's what I was trying. That's what I was meaning by the starter bundle gets the same percentage of discount regardless of what's inside it. Same thing for the mid-range. Same thing for the large. That way, it becomes about what's in the bundle.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes about what's in the package, what it builds, what you actually want on the table, what actually suits your purposes, versus, well, the Wizard's Townhouse is the biggest discount.
Yeah. And that was...
Which is not the wrong argument. It's just because that is always a factor to this stuff.
We're trying to make it so that you're getting the same deal regardless of what you're trying to prioritize.
It's what made me realize it was desperately important to try to put that into the mix versus, you know, we have to make them all hit the same price point. We have to make them all hit the same dollar amount. It's like that matters less than it all equaling a similar percentage of discount.
Yeah. And as that hit the nail on the head, part of the reason we're able to do this is we don't have to make pledge levels.
No.
On GameFound. Instead, like, your pledge is just whatever products you want.
Whatever.
Your pledge can be entirely add-on sets.
You can put like 3 bundles. Yeah. You can put 3 of the same bundle, and that's your pledge. That also still means you get the discounts applied to that bundle each time. It also means you get, if that totals for treasure chest, you're still adding into that. So that's kind of the other reason that we did the discounts the way we did.
Yes. Let's see.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, you're very close to having the structure done, and then it's just putting the accessories in.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I would want to start talking about it is, we're gonna put this. Yeah, we're gonna put that in that. We're just gonna use this as an extra door.
Let's see.
And then is there any other? I'm not trying to force you to answer questions, man. I just mean, like, is there anything that I'm not able to see or should be talking about right now?
We want to for sure, but Wildlands Reforged is better than any Kickstarter. Hope the wholly new content is easy to include. I appreciate it. We tried like a lot of, Wildlands Reforged was us testing out a lot of things that we were thinking about doing for this campaign. And I'm glad that we got to do that dry run so we could get used to the platform before we had like new product and it was a higher stakes project like this.
Yeah.
The fact that like we were able to test out and go like, hey, you know what? Stretch pay works. Like stretch pay did not backfire on us in any way.
No, in fact, it's going to make it even better to do a bunch of stuff.
So now we can just go into this like with stretch pay as like a part of the like just a part of the plan, and we can feel confident in it. We understand better how to design something for GameFound now because we've gone in and designed that web page and the listings and everything. For Reforged. So we've learned how to use the platform better now because we got that awkward first one out of the way.
Well, that's going to be one of the exciting things is that on the page itself, the way we're structuring this is that there's only because you can add everything in there. The only reward you have to see is one, which is just helping inform you that you can make it up of all just add-ons because that's where the bundles are.
Yeah.
So like there's and also with GameFound structure, you can look at every core every every set that is in a bundle, all on the same listing and transfer back and forth. It's so
and we
nice.
can put the walkthrough videos for them in the listing. So when you're looking at like the bundle and you're like, do I want to get this one?
Yeah.
The video for it is right there, and
Yeah.
all the photo. Like we're learning how to design for it, and there's so many options. And it's a bit more work to set up in some ways, but like it lets us do something. We're basically just creating what we were gonna make for our store on the campaign page.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Okay, so I've gotten the structure of this thing built. Now, basically, it comes down to where we want to place accessories. For instance, we can place our cables into the trapdoor floor over here. Is it? Maybe I should put it in the front one because it's easier to see.
Sure. Oh, showing them the cable trick is really fun. The thing we do in the walkthrough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I want to see if I can do that up there. So I'm gonna pull this back just so I can kind of have an easier time grabbing it. Obviously you can have it up on top, right? It's nice, it's visible, but you can also just place it upside down. The cable panel is also double-sided, right? So it has one side where some of the cables are exposed and like look like they need to be worked on, and the other ones are where they're enclosed. And so now it's recessed, and if it's recessed, I can even put the panel on top, the clear panel, or I can put the blast door on top, make it look like it's just closed. So that's one kind of thing. And we've got enough trapdoors around that we can do a couple of different iterations. Because these blast doors are also double-sided, they've got two different designs, so we can kind of use them how we would like. There's one over here, you kind of can't see it. So we'll just put that one over there. Again, put this as a doorway, right? We've put a lot of the 1x2s as exhaust port up, so it kind of like changes the motif of the floors. Now we can also put our fun little unit guy, our little drone.
The Roomba. That's actually really fun. Show off that little bridge. That's a really fun. Yeah.
So we've taken a 1x2 floor, putting the short stairs on either side, biscuited in. Boop. Now it helps extend. It just goes to a full 4-inch at that point.
Any idea how long Stretch Pay would run on Starforged? 3 or 6 months?
No less than 3.
Yeah, we do need
at this moment. We have a slated conversation for the end of this week. Jay and I do, specifically actually about exactly that.
Yeah.
As we've gotten more and more assured of how the Game Found system was going to work, and that the ways we were trying to make certain like treasure chest things work and pledge manager work, we're getting further into that conversation. So it's actually coming up again at the end of this week to like verify how long we're going to do it. Having said that, us dictating it back to you guys, probably not until February, but I would imagine with a project like this versus what we were doing with Wildlands Reforged, where we were testing stuff out, the conversation is going to be about the benefit that 3 months gave us, but do we want to extend how much we can actively allow it to extend further beyond that?
The big thing is we need to have it end before we ship things out. So that way people are paid up before we ship it.
Yeah.
That's basically it. So like with Reforged, it was a shorter period of time also because we had a quicker turnaround time. And so we just had to make sure people were paid up before we shipped.
I think you're right. It was 4 months for Reforged, but it's we're that's what I'm saying. The range is in between those two is like 3 to 6. Like, do we want to keep 4? Do we want to go to 5? Do we want to go all the way to 6? Yeah. My initial impression to you would be to warn you that 6 is unlikely. If we do it, it's going to be at 4 or 5. So that's what I would advise you. That's how I would tell you what to plan for. Plan for 4. We may do 5.
That said, everything is subject to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had this conversation yet, but I'm just saying, like from the conversations that have been had, things that we've decided, things that we've been talking about.
Yeah. Longer stretch pay will allow folks to spend more. True. We just, we need to weigh it against production time and all that jazz.
Yeah. Because, periodic payments towards something that you're actively having to produce.
Tell them to expect at least 4 payments. Tell them to expect like 4 at the least.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like that's that.
As far as if new people come in.
Yeah.
Are the doors still the same size, or were they resized to allow for the acid or ooze inserts from the caverns? Another question came up a while ago.
Oh, our prototypes, we haven't been able to change them. These prototypes are what they are for the rest of our project. They have not been adjusted in the file. We're doing that at basically, not to say post campaign, but here soon. Basically, I think we have it slated here in February. The dev team, the sculptors, we're going back and reviewing all the sculpts and doing all the edits that are necessary. That's one of them. One of them is opening it up just a little bit more so that you can actually still fit the ooze, you can fit these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's not that it's not getting done. It's more like we have stages of these things. A couple of the stretch goal items are still being finalized in sculpt, so that's kind of the other thing. They have to get through all the other pieces before we go back and work on anything.
Yeah,
it's a great question. Like that's the thing. It's like that is definitely in the intention is to go back.
Yeah. So it will happen. Has not happened yet.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So I think we actually have to talk about the structure here, don't we?
Yes. Let's actually talk about the bundle now that it's built.
So this is the starter bundle for interiors. So this is our what we would call our main build. Say it again.
I'm gonna try to get a light that hitting the back end of that real quick.
Is this just regular gum?
I'm gonna try to just make it better.
Did I just touch gum?
Did somebody put gum under the table?
It feels more like gum than it does, white stick.
Did somebody do like a Nicktoons like?
Oh, it feels like
gum
it.
under the table?
Or it's just so hot that that's just what it's turned into.
Huh? The light that hits that side might just be dead.
This one?
Yeah, that one's just not turning on.
It's not on. Oh, hey, Chris, that one's not on.
Okay, cool.
That's the number of the beast.
Yeah, that's the number of the beast.
Well, I can't get I can't find the other white stick that we had out here.
That's troubling.
Well, we're both facing problems, aren't we? Maybe that was what's happening earlier too.
But basically, there's a raised platform in the middle here.
Yes.
This blends in.
Yeah. I was going to. Yeah. I just wanted to get one more thing situated. Because I had to use a little bit of white stick here. Just bear with me.
Will door/wall inserts like that become a possible standard size going forward for future sets, so it's always compatible? I think we'll try to make sure that it's compatible as much as makes sense.
There's an answer to this. I'm gonna talk about this for just a second. At the center of this structure, right, we've taken our corner pieces
and just put them upside down.
Put them upside down in the center, right? Now, because these are half-inch floors, the ladder is also only 1.5 inches, so it goes straight up to the top. Staircase, same thing. Everything's built on that same pattern, that same grid. So, helps when you want to build elevation quickly within one pack, right? This is one bundle at like 570 painted, and like this is a large room. You have a lot of interesting points of interest. Like you have a lot of interesting
interesting points of interest.
Oh, a lot of interesting points of interest. Yeah, thanks, Chris. That was great.
Resulting in destructive results.
But 2 entrances, right? We have 2 different ways to get into this place. So it's, theoretically, it's a whole facility that you're going into. Or even if you just took these pieces, you didn't use them, and you replaced this floor with that wall. It's just one larger enclosed room, which is perfectly fine to have a couple of pieces left over, right? So the question was that I wanted to come back to.
What was it?
Shoot. Oh, second part. Door wall inserts that become a possible standard size. The tricky thing to answer with this is that we have multiple different kinds of doors.
Mm-hmm.
We have swinging doors. And we have two sizes of swinging doors. We have narrow and we have regular. So, or I guess we call them narrow and wide, but like that's it. And we also have double doors, double high double doors. We have two versions of double. So like we have this thing where it's like there are different constraints for different biomes. And so to call it standardizing the size is odd because this and an arch insert are going to be relatively the same size, right? I guess I should say this so you can actually see what I'm holding up. Right, this insert and an arch insert are technically the same size. However, you can't use an arch insert in these trapdoor floors, but you could potentially use it in your door.
Yeah.
Here, you could. It will probably stick out at the top. Those are usually just a little bit more, and it's not built for that, for the hooks on the end of the arch insert where they drop down. So it's not built for that, so they'll probably hang up on the top, but they're at least the same thickness. They're the same general size. And so that's the only thing I can promise you. Things will stay in the same general size, and that's the best sometimes that we can do. Because this is a different building system than Dungeons, even though it has a lot of the same base building system to it.
Mm-hmm.
This piece and this piece are just effectively different, so we have to build to what makes this thing the best. And I'm just going to leave it there because I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. And your question is very good, and I just don't want to belittle the question by just seeming like I'm just going over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Real quick, we are at 9:02, so let's finish showing what's left to show in here.
Yeah.
So we can get out of here.
Great.
And if anybody has any other questions, go ahead and round them up, and we can do like a lightning round at the end of it potentially. But let's blaze through it, and I'll try to answer stuff in chat, like text-wise, as much as possible too.
Also, the extra 1x2 and the wall are part of the bundle, and I knew you answered it in the thing. I put it on the end as a
little entrance,
just a lip. They're extra pieces, so it was like, why not just finish it out? Finish out the motif. There's even two 1x2 floors out here in the back that aren't entirely necessary, but
we filmed a walkthrough of this build last week that also has like an alt build, and we get like close-ups on a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And we did full photos of it. And we're gonna be putting it up on the GameFound page before long, hopefully. We've been generating a lot of that content so we can start putting some stuff up early before we launch, so that people are aware of the pricing and aware of like what the options are.
Yep.
Before we launch, so as many people as possible feel equipped to just pledge right away and know what they want before we even press go.
Yeah. Do the ladders fit in the door?
Like vent might need to.
No. I think that they are too thick.
Been there. So
what's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm tired. All right, let's see. What do we got? I don't know if there's a ton of jetpack landing pad. That's
right.
It could be a landing pad. You could do a lot with the Roomba.
Oh, Django. Oh, this thing.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I was gonna say
Django?
I can't wait to play Django on these pieces. In Shatterpoint, Django.
Oh, Django Fett. Got it. Yes.
Jetpack. That was where I was.
Yes. No, I get it now.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Good.
We do need to set up some Shatterpoint stuff on this. It works very well. Because the nice thing with it being like inch increments, because the Shatterpoint terrain is also like using inch increments.
Yes.
And so like there's a lot of fun compatibility. We played around with it a little bit, but we need to do a full build and show that. We want to show like full builds of it in context for a lot of games, just to show like this is how this works with 1,000 different games. Because when you get into sci-fi, there's so many skirmish games out there that don't make their own terrain. And then there's so many skirmish games out there that do make their own terrain, but you can still add to it and flesh it out. And I don't know. We want to show as much as possible. We made a set that is flexible enough to work with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have we shown like the cable trick with the blast door over it and then you open it up? The cable's underneath.
Yeah, I showed that earlier.
You showed that earlier? Cool. I was distracted.
You're good.
Are there rough prices for the mid and full table bundles? Do you feel confident enough yet, or are we still working on that? It's fine if you're still working on it. These ones
I feel good about it, but it's that like we are still getting to build them out fully. We haven't done one of the large. We haven't done either of the larges yet. So conceptually, these numbers we like.
You know what you're trying to hit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like we know what we want to try to hit, and we also like what we're seeing in those bundles, like how it's actually like how the composition is working out. We're like, that looks like a good composition of all these things together. So having said that, I will. Now these are more, like we just said, more of an estimate than the things that I said.
Mm-hmm.
These are slightly higher chances of adjusting. For our mid-range interior and exterior, we're targeting about $1,400. So maybe sub that, maybe $1,375, right? That's the target area is between $1,375 and $1,450, just about.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the larges, we're targeting about I think it was it's $2,375 and $2,450.
Yeah. And for sizing as well, the small exterior, like the starter exterior bundle that we're looking at, basically feels like a 2x2. Like it was designed, and you'll see it eventually.
Yeah.
It was designed to basically make a satisfying build for a 2x2 skirmish game like Stargrave.
This starter bundle
is about 2x2. Yeah.
There's negative space out here, obviously. Like you're not filling 2x2 fully, but you're putting 2x2 down, and then this is extra room for outside accessories, or again, depending on how this is supposed to go through an entire facility. I'm getting this bundle, it's building this room. I'm going to rearrange it for the next session to build the next room, or a couple of hallways that lead out into different ways. And then as we get to a mid-range, maybe that mid-range bundle can build an entire starship by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Yeah. I'm excited to show a lot of it. Still looks more like Space Dungeons than War Games Scatter. Now you're trying to expand your market. Well, I mean, for the interior use, that's definitely that. We have some stuff for exteriors that we have not shown yet. That
with the catwalks, the pipes, and those barricades, and a lot of these extra things that like accentuate this stuff. That's why the bunker builder is the way it is. That's why the bunker mega is also the way it is, about building again quick terrain features that you can just drop down, build out, do a lot more coverage, rather than this, which is a lot of intricate building and trying to plot and plan how these things kind of form into one room or into several rooms.
We're trying to do it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's still stuff to show. Like we didn't even really get into catwalks and pipes today.
Yeah, and Finley's right too. This thing has because of the number of corners and the number of diagonals inside, it has 6 diagonals and gosh, how many? And then 6 corners.
Yeah.
So 12, technically 12 corners. You can do 3 just
even square structures.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's helpful. And then with all the straight walls and stuff, even this starter bundle that's built.
Oh, I think your lov died.
What's happening?
I think your lov died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, your mic died.
Oh, okay, great.
We've been going too long.
Okay.
Come over here and talk to me.
Yeah.
Hey, I think this is a sign that we need to.
That's fine with me. let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Not like that. But the middle of
How
the
do we-
sentence, what I was saying. The starter bundle interior
Which one is the?
can also double for exteriors because of the number of walls in it.
Is it this one? It's this
You
one.
still get
Here we go. It's this one.
3 different build styles.
Yeah.
Man, my mustache is really coming in gross, isn't it? It's like stone cold gross.
Oh, these cameras are just really bad. I want to replace these by the.
okay.
I want to replace these by the
No,
time.
it is a gross mustache, is what you're saying. But then also on top of that, the cameras are bad.
Yeah, the cameras are bad.
Okay.
So I want to replace these by the time we get into the campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, they also do make good ramps. You're right.
Yes. All right. Well, hey, everybody, thank you for checking in. We're gonna get out of here. It's late. We went over, and we gotta get home because we're filming again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we gotta get going.
Not for months.
If there's a lot of questions,
Mhm.
I'm in the Discord a lot, and can hopefully answer it. And we'll be talking about this a lot in the next month and a half before we launch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guarantee that Nate's gonna want to next week do a whole bunch of new stuff that I didn't do tonight because I was trying to be conscious of him wanting to do stuff.
Yeah.
So
We still have more to show.
definitely still more to show. Barricades were the big one tonight that I was like, yeah, we should show that off because it's really cool.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.